The courtroom was packed, buzzing with the smug energy that followed Officer Brian Keller everywhere he went. He strolled in like he owned the place, badge shining, uniform crisp, grin dripping arrogance. People whispered his name like he was some local hero. "That's Keller," someone said. "The cop who wins every case. He loved it, he thrived on it." At the defense table sat a woman, quiet, calm, and unreadable. No lawyer beside her, no files, no fancy outfit. Just a simple gray blazer and steady eyes that didn't flinch even as Keller shot her a mocking smile. "You sure you wanna do this without an attorney?" he taunted. "I'd hate for you to embarrass yourself." She looked up slowly. "I don't need one." The judge entered, and the courtroom rose. Keller's smirk deepened. He'd done this dance 100 times, arrest someone on a technicality, twist the report, and walk out looking like justice itself. Today would be no different, or so he thought. The case began. Keller went first, confidently spinning his story. "Your Honor, this woman resisted arrest, verbally assaulted me, and attempted to flee during a lawful stop. I followed all procedure." He handed over his report with practiced ease. "It's all there in black and white." The judge nodded. "And your evidence?" Keller gestured to the screen. The courtroom lights dimmed as dashcam footage began to play. He leaned back, smirking again, until the video started showing something he hadn't seen before. The audio came through crystal clear. "You can't just touch me like that. You people think you can do whatever you want." And then, his voice, loud and unmistakable, "Shut up before I make you." The crowd gasped. Keller's face froze. That's edited," he stammered. "That's not the full clip." The woman rose, her voice steady but sharp. "Actually, that's the Bureau's version." The judge frowned. "The Bureau?" She reached into her bag and pulled out a small leather folder. "Yes, sir. Federal Bureau of Investigation." She flipped it open. The golden badge caught the light like a lightning strike. "Special Agent Maya Torres, Internal Affairs Division." The entire courtroom went silent. Keller's jaw slackened. Maya continued, calm as ever. "This court appearance was approved under Directive Iowa 47. Officer Keller is currently under investigation for 3 falsified arrests and misuse of body cam data. This was a test to confirm his behavior." The color drained from his face. You set me up." She tilted her head slightly. "You set yourself up the moment you thought your badge made you untouchable." The judge leaned back, stunned. "Agent Torres, are you saying this proceeding was part of an undercover operation?" "Yes, Your Honor. And as of this morning, there's a federal warrant for Officer Keller's arrest. Evidence suggests he's been accepting bribes and falsifying reports for over 2 years." Keller tried to stand, but 2 U.S. Marshals were already behind him. One whispered, "Don't make it worse, buddy." As they cuffed him, Maya looked straight at him and said quietly, "Justice doesn't wear a badge, it carries one." The courtroom erupted into chaos, reporters shouting, cameras flashing, but she just gathered her files, nodded to the judge, and walked out, leaving behind a man who finally realized his uniform couldn't protect him from the truth. That night, the news lit up every screen in the city. Corrupt officer exposed by undercover FBI agent in open court. The headline spread like wildfire. People who once praised Keller now cursed his name. His fellow officers deleted photos, neighbors shut their doors, and his so-called friends suddenly forgot his number. But for Maya Torres, the story was far from over. She sat alone in her dimly lit office at the Bureau, replaying the courtroom footage in silence. She didn't smile, didn't celebrate, her face was cold, thoughtful. She had taken down a dirty cop, yes, but this case was personal. Her phone buzzed. A message from her contact inside the precinct read, "He's not the only one." Keller answered to someone higher. "The files are encrypted." "You were right." Maya's hand tightened around the phone. She whispered, "I knew it." She turned to her bulletin board, photos of officers, case files, red strings connecting names and departments. At the center, one picture stood out, a man in an expensive suit, grinning at a police fundraiser. Commissioner Daniel Royce. The next morning, the Bureau building buzzed like a hornet's nest. Reporters swarmed the front steps, demanding interviews. Maya ignored them, her heels clicking with sharp precision as she entered the director's office. "Sir," she said, placing a thick folder on his desk, "Keller wasn't just dirty. He was a messenger. Someone's been cleaning evidence for him, someone with power." The director glanced at the file, brows furrowed. "You think it's Royce?" "I don't think," Maya replied. "I know. Keller's body cam files were wiped from a secure precinct server. Royce has the only clearance high enough to override federal access. The director exhaled slowly. You're walking a fine line, Agent Torres. The commissioner isn't just a name, he's politics, money, protection. Maya leaned forward, eyes cold. Then I'll take him down the same way I took down Keller. In front of everyone. But before the director could respond, his intercom buzzed. Sir, you'll want to see this, said his assistant, voice shaking. The TV on the wall flicked on, live coverage from downtown. Commissioner Royce stood behind a podium, reporters crowding around. He looked calm, confident, untouchable. It's unfortunate that a rogue agent violated protocol and entrapped a decorated officer, he said smoothly. We will be launching an internal investigation into Agent Torres's conduct. The room went silent. Maya's jaw clenched. The director turned to her slowly. He's turning it on you. Maya stood, fire in her voice. Let him. He thinks this is over. She grabbed her folder and walked out. Her last words hung in the air like a promise. He forgot who trained him to hide his crimes. The night was colder than usual, the city drowned in mist and sirens. Maya sat in her car across from the commissioner's mansion, her laptop glowing faint blue in the dark. On the screen, encrypted files, timestamped transfers, and one folder marked, internal payments. Her fingers moved fast, tracing the trail Keller left behind. Every click led to another name, another officer, another payoff. She whispered, Royce, you've built a kingdom on lies. A sudden buzz on her phone made her freeze. A message from an unknown number popped up. You're being watched. Get out now. Her instincts kicked in, she turned the key, but before the engine roared to life, headlights flared in her rearview mirror. A black SUV. No plates. She muttered, too late. The SUV door swung open, and a man in a dark coat stepped out. He didn't look like a street threat, he moved with precision. She reached for her sidearm, but before she could open the door, a familiar voice echoed through the window. Easy, Agent Torres, I'm not here to stop you. Maya lowered her gun slightly. Grant, Special Agent David Grant, her former partner, stepped into the dim light. His expression was grim. You shouldn't be here, Maya. Royce has friends higher than you think. The bureau's already prepping your suspension file. She narrowed her eyes. You sound like you believe him. He sighed. No, I just know what he's capable of. He's got files on everyone, judges, chiefs, even federal supervisors. Anyone who gets close either gets discredited, or disappears. Maya's tone hardened. Then why warn me? You could have stayed safe. Grant looked away. Because Keller wasn't the only one he sent after you. He sent me too. Maya's grip tightened on her gun. What did you just say? He raised his hands. He ordered me to watch you, said you were a threat to national order. I was supposed to feed him everything. But when I saw what he did to Keller, when I saw how far he'd go, I couldn't. I deleted my reports. I chose you. Maya stared at him for a long moment, disbelief flickering in her eyes, then slowly lowered her weapon. If that's true, then help me take him down. Grant nodded. You'll need more than evidence. Royce controls the narrative. You'll have to expose him where he can't twist the truth. She frowned. Where? Grant's gaze met hers. In his own courtroom. He's set to testify next week in front of the Senate Oversight Committee. Cameras, press, everyone watching. Maya smirked. Perfect. He blinked. You're serious? She shut her laptop and started the engine. You bet I am. He used the law to protect himself. Let's see how he likes it when the law fights back. As her car disappeared into the fog, Grant's phone buzzed again. A message flashed across the screen. If you're still with her, you'll both go down. R. He looked up at the empty road, voice barely a whisper. Too late, Royce. She's already coming for you. The Senate oversight hearing was packed. Rows of cameras, reporters scribbling notes, and every major network broadcasting live. Commissioner Daniel Royce sat at the center table, his smile polished, his tone calm, pretending to be the man America trusted. He spoke with that same smooth confidence he used when covering corruption with charm. We've always supported federal cooperation, he said to the senators. But certain agents have overstepped, conducting entrapment operations without proper oversight. The cameras clicked. He was building his narrative. Royce, the honorable public servant, Maya, the reckless rogue agent. Then, the doors at the back of the chamber opened. All heads turned. Maya Torres stepped in. No escort, no entourage, just her in a dark suit and a manila folder tucked under her arm. Royce's eyes widened for the first time. He hadn't expected her to show up. Not after the Bureau's warning. Not after the threats. The lead senator cleared his throat. Agent Torres, this is a closed inquiry. You were not summoned. Maya's voice cut clean through the air. Then summon me now. The room went dead quiet. Even the cameras stopped clicking for a second. She walked to the witness table opposite Royce and set her folder down. Commissioner Royce accuses me of misconduct. I came to respond, with proof. Royce forced a smirk. Agent Torres, you're suspended. You have no authority here. She leaned forward. Funny, you said the same thing to Keller before the Bureau cuffed him. A few senators exchanged uneasy glances. The chairman adjusted his glasses. Go on, Agent Torres. What exactly do you have? Maya opened the folder and pulled out a flash drive. It contains video and bank data directly from the Bureau's secure servers, copies Royce thought were deleted. It shows he authorized false arrests, tampered with reports, and laundered money through a police pension fund. Royce's face stiffened, but he still tried to play it off. Those are fabricated, stolen data from a rogue operation. Maya didn't let him finish. They're real, and you know it. Because every transfer was verified through your own clearance ID. The senators leaned in. Can you prove that? One asked. Maya nodded and looked toward the door. Bring it in. Two agents entered the room. One of them, David Grant. They carried a projector and connected the drive. The lights dimmed. On the big screen, Royce's voice filled the room. Make sure Keller takes the fall. Torres is getting too close. If she talks, she disappears. Gasps filled the chamber. Royce's face drained of color. He lunged forward. That's taken out of context. But Maya didn't even blink. No context saves you from your own words. Senators started murmuring. Cameras zoomed in. One of them whispered, play the next clip. The next file showed security footage. Royce shaking hands with a known developer under investigation for laundering millions through police contracts. Royce's perfect composure shattered. He stood abruptly. This is a setup, he shouted. You think you can ruin me with edited files? I own this city. Maya stared at him, calm, steady, fearless. You don't own anything anymore. The chairman's gavel slammed down. Commissioner Royce, you are hereby suspended pending federal arrest and review. Two marshals stepped forward. Royce's voice cracked. You can't do this. Maya turned toward him one last time. You did it to yourself the moment you believed no one could touch you. The marshals cuffed him as the room erupted in chaos, reporters shouting, senators scrambling. And in the middle of it all, Maya quietly gathered her folder, handed the flash drive to the committee clerk, and walked out the same way she came in. Outside, the crowd cheered. Cameras flashed. She didn't stop, didn't wave. Just whispered to herself, one down, the rest will fall soon.